The gift-wrapped box sat on the coffee table at my sister Linda's house. An art set for my daughter Emma's 9th birthday. Emma stood beside me as relatives gathered in the living room. My niece Madison walked straight to the table and picked up the wrapped package. "What's this?" Madison asked, even though she had watched me place it there minutes earlier. "That's for Emma," I said evenly. "It's her birthday present." Madison tore off the wrapping paper. "Oh, art supplies." She looked at Emma with a smirk. "Poor kids don't need expensive things like this. You wouldn't even know how to use them properly." Emma's face fell. Linda appeared from the kitchen, champagne glass in hand. "Madison, what are you doing?" "Just checking Aunt Sarah's gift," Madison said. "These are really nice. Way too nice for someone who doesn't take real art classes." I stood up. "Madison, please put that down. It's not yours." Linda laughed, the sound sharp in the quiet room. "Oh, Sarah, just let her have it. Madison is enrolled in private art lessons at the academy downtown. She'd get much more use out of professional supplies." She turned to her daughter. "Go ahead, sweetie. Take it to your room." Other relatives shifted uncomfortably. My brother-in-law David didn't look up from his phone. My mother, sitting in the corner, examined her fingernails. "Linda, that's Emma's gift," I said, keeping my voice level. "I bought it specifically for her. And I'm sure you can get Emma something more appropriate for her skill level," Linda said, refilling her glass. "Madison has real talent. She needs quality materials. You understand." Madison was already heading toward the stairs, the half-unwrapped box under her arm. Emma's hand found mine, squeezing tight. I could feel her trying not to cry. "It's okay, baby," I whispered. "We'll figure this out." Linda waved her hand dismissively. "Don't be dramatic, Sarah. You've always been so sensitive about money. Just because you struggle doesn't mean you can't be generous to family members who'll actually appreciate nice things." My mother finally spoke up. "Sarah, your sister has a point. Madison is very talented. Emma can have something else." I smiled quietly, the expression not reaching my eyes. "Of course. Whatever you think is best." The rest of the party passed in a blur. Emma stayed close to me, barely touching her cake. Linda held court by the kitchen, describing Madison's art achievements and her summer program in Europe. "The tuition is significant," Linda said loudly. $8,000 for 6 weeks in Florence. Not all of us can afford opportunities like that, obviously. I helped Emma gather her other gifts, mostly gift cards and books from relatives who had clearly spent minimal effort. We said our goodbyes early, claiming Emma had a headache. In the car, Emma finally let the tears come. "Why did she take it, Mom? Why did Aunt Linda let her?" "I don't know, sweetheart," I said, gripping the steering wheel. "Sometimes people make unfair choices." "Madison called us poor," Emma said quietly. "Are we poor?" I glanced at my daughter in the rearview mirror. "No, baby. We're not poor. We're just private about our finances." That night, after Emma fell asleep, I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop. I opened my banking app and found the recurring transfer. $3,400 monthly to David and Linda's mortgage account. I had started making their payments 6 years ago during David's unemployment crisis, when they faced foreclosure. Linda had begged for help, asking me to keep it private. "Just until we get back on our feet," Linda had promised. David had found work within 8 months. They bought a new SUV 2 years ago and renovated their kitchen last year. But they never resumed mortgage payments. I clicked cancel on the recurring transfer. A confirmation box appeared. I thought of Emma's face when Madison grabbed that gift. I thought of Linda's laugh. I clicked confirm. The next morning I took Emma to the art supply store and bought her a better watercolor set, plus an easel and instructional books. My phone rang 3 times. "Linda." I let it go to voicemail. Then David called. My mother called last. "Sarah, your sister is trying to reach you," Mom said. "Something about a banking error." "I'm sure they'll sort it out," I said. I hung up and continued helping Emma with her art setup. By afternoon, Linda had left 4 voicemails. I waited until evening to call back. Finally, Linda snapped. "Our mortgage payment bounced. The bank says there's no money in the account." "That sounds stressful," I said. "Can you help us? Loan us the payment amount. We'll pay you back." "How much is your mortgage payment?" I asked. $3,400. That's interesting, I said quietly. 3,400 exactly. Yes, why? No reason. That's just a specific number. Linda's voice took on the same edge it had at Emma's party. Sarah, this isn't the time for games. We need help. Family helps family, remember? Like yesterday? I asked. When Madison took Emma's gift and you laughed? Oh, for God's sake, you're still upset about that? This is about our house, Sarah. Our home. Madison having art supplies isn't the same as us losing everything. You're right, I said. It's not the same. Emma's feelings and Madison's entitlement to other people's belongings aren't the same as a mortgage payment. What are you saying? I'm saying that for 6 years, a mysterious payment of exactly $3,400 has been covering your mortgage every month. And as of yesterday, that payment stopped. The line went quiet. I could hear David's voice in the background, still arguing with someone at the bank. What are you talking about? Linda asked, but her voice had changed. He knew. I've been paying your mortgage since David's layoff, I said calmly. You asked me to help temporarily. That was 6 years ago. You never resumed payments. You never even mentioned it again. Sarah. Linda's voice cracked. We thought. You thought what? That the bank made an error in your favor, and kept making it for 6 years. We didn't know it was you. You didn't ask. You just enjoyed the extra $3,400 a month in your budget. The new car. The kitchen renovation. The Italy trip for Madison. David's voice came closer on Linda's end. Who is that? Is it the bank? It's Sarah, Linda said quietly. Sarah. David took the phone. Sarah, did you know about this mortgage thing? The bank says the payment source was an external account, but they won't tell us whose. It was mine, I said. I've been making your mortgage payments for 6 years. The silence was absolute. You've what? David finally said. And I stopped yesterday. After watching my daughter get humiliated at her own birthday party and having her gift stolen because apparently we're too poor to understand nice things. Sarah, that's not. Linda, what is she talking about? I heard Linda explaining in frantic whispers. Then David was back on the line. Look, whatever happened at the party, we can talk about that, David said. But you can't just stop paying our mortgage without warning. We have a child. We could lose our home. You have 30 days before anything serious happens, I said. That's standard for mortgage payments. And you could always liquidate some assets. Maybe cancel that Italy trip. That's $8,000 right there, more than 2 months of mortgage payments. That deposit is non-refundable, Linda said in the background. Then I guess you should have prioritized better, I said. Like teaching your daughter not to steal from her cousin because you've labeled us as poor. We never said you were poor. Linda protested. Madison did. And you laughed and agreed. You told me to let her have Emma's gift because we're too unsophisticated to appreciate nice things. You've spent 6 years enjoying an extra $3,400 every month while making comments about my financial struggles. We didn't know. Linda said. We thought you actually were struggling. I am a regional director at First National Bank, I said quietly. I make $340,000 a year. I've been paying your mortgage out of petty cash. I could buy your house outright and not notice the dent in my savings. The silence stretched so long I thought they'd hung up. You work at a bank? David finally said. I thought you were a teller. I'm the regional director. I oversee 47 branches across 3 states. The poor kid you've been pitying owns part of the financial institution that holds your mortgage. Linda made a choking sound. Here's what's going to happen, I continued. You're going to figure out how to pay your mortgage going forward. You're going to return Emma's art set. And Madison is going to apologize to Emma for stealing her gift and calling her poor. Sarah, please, Linda said. We can't afford the mortgage without your help. We've built our budget around having that extra money. Then build a new budget, I said. I've given you 6 years of free housing money. That's over $244,000. Consider it a gift. But it ends now. You can't do this, David said. We're family. Exactly. We're family. And family doesn't humiliate each other's children at birthday parties. Family doesn't steal gifts. Family doesn't spend years accepting financial help while mocking the person providing it. My phone beeped with another call. I glanced at the screen. James Whitmore, the mortgage department head at First National. I need to go, I said. That's my colleague calling, probably about your account. I'll tell him to proceed with standard late payment protocols. Wait. Linda shouted. Sarah, please. We'll apologize. Madison will return the art set. Just don't do this. The art set is irrelevant now, I said. Emma has a better one. What matters is that you've spent 6 years thinking you were better than me while I literally kept a roof over your heads. And yesterday, you looked at my daughter and decided she wasn't worthy of a birthday gift because we're too poor to appreciate nice things. We'll make it right, David said desperately. You'll make it right by learning to support yourselves, I said. Like adults. Like I've been doing while you've been playing with my money. I ended the call and answered James's line. Sarah, hi, James said. Sorry to bother you on a Sunday, but we've got a situation with the account ending in 7743. The automated payment failed and the account holders are claiming it's a bank error. They're asking to speak with management. It's not an error, I said. I was the payment source. I've canceled the transfer. Understood. Should I proceed with standard late payment procedures? Yes. And James? They're going to ask to speak with me specifically. Tell them I'm unavailable. Will do. Emma appeared in the doorway of my home office, holding up a watercolor painting she'd been working on. Mom, look. I made this. The painting showed 2 figures, clearly meant to be Emma and me, standing in front of an easel. The colors were bright and hopeful. It's beautiful, baby, I said, and I meant it. My phone buzzed with a text from Linda. Please call me. We need to talk about this. I deleted it without responding. Later that evening my mother called. Sarah, Linda told me what happened. Mom said. You've been paying their mortgage? For 6 years. And you never told anyone? They asked me not to. They wanted to keep it private. Mom was quiet for a moment. Linda says you're punishing her over a misunderstanding at Emma's party. It wasn't a misunderstanding, Mom. Madison stole Emma's gift while Linda watched and encouraged it. Then Linda spent the party talking about how some of us prioritize our children's education, implying I don't because we're poor. She didn't mean it that way. She meant it exactly that way. And she meant it while enjoying $3,400 of my money every single month. Family forgives, Mom said. Family also respects each other, I replied. And doesn't steal from children or mock the people who've been helping them for years. So you're just going to let them lose their house? I'm going to let them pay for their house. Like adults. Like I pay for mine. You're being cruel, Sarah. I'm being fair. I've given them $250,000. That ends now. I hung up before she could respond. 2 days later, Madison showed up at my door with the art set, still in its torn wrapping paper. Linda stood behind her on the porch, looking exhausted. I'm sorry I took Emma's present, Madison mumbled, not meeting my eyes. It was wrong. And? Linda prompted. And I'm sorry I said you were poor. I shouldn't have said that. Emma appeared beside me, looking at her cousin uncertainly. Thank you for apologizing, I told Madison. But Emma doesn't need this anymore. She has better supplies now. Linda's face crumpled. Sarah, please. We need to talk. We can't make the mortgage payment. The bank wants full payment plus late fees by Friday or they start foreclosure proceedings. Then you should make that payment, I said. We don't have it. Not without your help. Linda, you've had 6 years to save the money you should have been paying. You chose to spend it on other things instead. That's not my problem. You're really going to let us lose our home? Linda asked, tears streaming down her face. Over a birthday present? This isn't about the present, I said quietly. It's about respect. It's about 6 years of you accepting my help while looking down on me. It's about teaching your daughter that she's entitled to other people's belongings because they're too poor to deserve them. We'll pay you back, Linda begged. Every penny. We'll set up a payment plan. I don't want your money, I said. I want you to stand on your own feet and figure out your own finances. I closed the door gently while they stood on the porch. Emma looked up at me. Are they really going to lose their house? Probably not, I said honestly. They'll figure something out. They'll have to. That's what adults do. Through the window I watched Linda and Madison walk back to their car. Linda was on her phone, probably calling the bank again, still trying to find a solution that didn't involve actual responsibility. My phone buzzed with another text from David. "You've made your point. Now please be reasonable." I turned off my phone and went to help Emma with her art project. She was working on a new painting, this one showing a girl standing tall and strong, paintbrush in hand. "What are you calling this one?" I asked. Emma smiled up at me. "Worth it." I kissed the top of her head. "Perfect title."